All right, so get this. Today we're going to dive into, graph theory.
Okay.
But don't worry, you don't need to be like a math genius. All right. We're looking at this new research paper, and it's all about strategy, kind of like high stakes risk, but with math.
Oh, I like that. That's a good way to put it. This paper, it's about something called K-multiple Roman domination, and it's a new take on this classic Roman domination problem.
Okay, Roman domination, multiple Roman domination. I got to ask, what are we even talking about here?
So imagine, right, the Roman Empire, like way back when, with cities everywhere, all connected by roads.
Right.
Each city, that's a point on our graph. The roads, those are the lines between them. And Roman domination, it's all about where do you put your legions, like the best places to protect everything.
So it's like if one city gets attacked, boom, the legions are close enough to back them up.
Exactly. Now, multiple Roman domination, it's like imagine more legions.
Okay.
Instead of just one per city, you can have like a bunch, which changes everything.
Okay, so you're like really building up those defenses.
Exactly. Yeah. No easy targets.
So what did the researchers find out, like when they started using this stronger defense?
So first, they wanted to know how hard is this problem with different city layouts or graphs, as they're called in math.
Gotcha.
And they found that they're way harder to optimize.
Like a grid versus something super messy.
Yeah. They looked at bipartite graphs, like a chessboard. Every connection is between black and white. And then chordal graphs, those are trickier, but basically less of those crisscrossing connections.
Okay, so the shape of your empire really matters for defense.
It's huge.
Makes sense. But how did they, figure out how hard these problems were? Did they, try every possibility?
That's a thing. With big graphs, you can't just, brute force it.
Right.
So they use this thing from computer science. It's called the exact cover by 3 cents problem. And it basically tells you how much a problem will, make your computer struggle.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and it showed that finding the absolute perfect answer, it's not always possible, especially with huge networks.
So sometimes you got to go with a good enough strategy, right?
Exactly, and that's where their work on bounds comes in. Instead of stressing about the exact minimum, they found ways to, estimate it.
So you get a rough idea, good enough to make a decision.
Exactly. And here's where it gets really cool. They found that how the graph looks really changes how many legions you need.
Like what?
Like imagine a city that's connected to almost all the others, a major hub.
Right.
It's a universal vertex. Those are super important for defense.
Because if that one goes down, the whole thing's vulnerable.
Exactly. They also looked at graphs shaped like simple cycles, like a loop with 5 cities, or 7C5 and C7 they call them.
So, understanding those shapes is key to defending them.
Yeah, for sure.
Did they find anything else that changed the strategy?
They found that even how long the shortest loop is in your network, girth they call it, can change how many legions you need.
So it's not just how connected they are overall, but these smaller loops within the network.
Exactly. Even small changes there, big impact. But get this, they didn't just stop at estimates. For some graphs, they found the exact K-multiple Roman domination number.
Wait, so they got the perfect answer? No guessing.
Yeah. They did it for path graphs, like a straight line of cities, each one only connected to its neighbors.
Oh.
And they even made a formula, they call it MKEN, to calculate the exact number for any path graph.
Okay, so this MKN thing, should I, try to understand the whole formula or the point that there's, a pattern they found?
Yeah, the point is, for those path graphs, there's a clear, predictable way to find that best defense strategy.
Wow, finding the exact number, no guessing for path graphs? That's wild.
Yeah.
But, in the real world, how much does that actually help? Most networks are, way messier than a straight line.
That's the cool part. The paper, it's really focused on the math, proving these solutions exist.
But not necessarily how to find them in, tougher situations.
Exactly. And that's where it gets really interesting. It's they gave us the tools, but we got to build something with them,
So, they gave us the blueprint, but we got to do the engineering.
Yeah.
Could you actually make, an algorithm that takes all this graph theory stuff and tells you the best strategy for any network?
Yeah. That's the billion-dollar question. Imagine you input your network, roads, whatever, and it tells you exactly where to put everything for, maximum security.
Okay, I see where you're going with this. So let's say we have this algorithm. What could you actually do with it besides, defending ancient Rome?
Oh, man, disaster response, right? Like a natural disaster hits, you could analyze all the roads, evacuation routes, and know exactly where to put aid stations, shelters, all that.
It'd be huge, like a strategic command center.
Yeah. Or think about healthcare. This could change how we do, like, everything. Hospitals, clinics, even those mobile units, you could make sure everyone gets care fast no matter where they are.
Or even inside a hospital, right? Like, where should the nurses' stations be? All that.
Exactly. And telecommunications, too. Cell towers, making networks that don't break down. So many possibilities.
It's crazy how this math stuff can be so important in the real world.
Right. This paper, it's not just theory, it's like a starting point. It shows how powerful math can be for solving real problems.
Like having a cheat code for complexity. This makes me think, though, they focused on this specific type of domination, but they mentioned other kinds.
Yeah.
Did they look into those, too? They mentioned, like, double, triple, even quadruple Roman domination. It's like levels of defense or something.
Yeah, exactly. It's like having 2, 3, or 4 legions in each city. But here's the cool part. They didn't just look at each one separately.
Okay.
They actually made a system that includes all of them.
So instead of different rules for each level, they found a master key.
That's a great way to put it. This K-multiple Roman domination, you can plug in any number for K2, 3, 100, whatever, and it still works.
Wow, that's really elegant. So they're not just describing a few strategies, but like a whole range of possibilities.
Exactly. And this is really just the start. Other researchers, they can use this now. Who knows what they'll find?
Like they've opened this door,
Mm.
and we're just starting to see what's inside.
Exactly. And that's what, we want you to take away from this. Even in graph theory, there's so much to discover. This paper shows how math can help us understand, like, real problems, not just theoretical stuff.
So for our listeners, even if you're not like a mathematician, maybe you have a problem with like networks, resources, planning, any of that.
Yeah, think about it. Like planning delivery routes, organizing your team, even designing your garden.
It's about seeing those problems in a new way.
Exactly. So next time you've got a tough problem, try thinking a little mathematically. You might surprise yourself.
And that's a wrap on this deep dive into the fascinating world of commultiple Roman domination. We'll catch you next time for more explorations at the cutting edge of research. Until then, keep those brains engaged.